Hello. The point of today's presentation and workshop is to begin working on our college application. Some of you might have already began this process, and some of you probably haven't even thought about it at all, and that's okay. If you already have started applications, once I get done with the presentation, you'll be free to start working on those. If you have not, today will be a great time to get started doing those. So the first place I'm going to start off at is going to be on the common application. I want to stress that this is not an application that every single one of you is going to want to do. Some of you, depending on where you want to go to school, are going to be required to use the common application. So there are 17 schools here in the state of Michigan that do use it, hundreds across the country. If you are applying to a school that requires you to use the Common App, or if you are applying to 4 or more schools that use the Common App, typically it's going to save you time. If you're applying to the University of Michigan, I'm going to tell you that you're going to need to do the Common App. So it's be important for you to go through the other schools that you are looking at applying to see if they also use the Common App, because it's very possible that it could save yourself some time. Once you've created the Common App application, if you just go to commonapp.org, up in the top right-hand corner, you can click create an account. You'll come in and um, it'll look a little bit different than this. I've done some of the pre-work. I've added all of the colleges to my list, and you'll see here in a second what the benefit of that is. If you want to add a college, though, you just go over here to the college search, and let's say University. If I spelled it right, Miami. So, Miami of Ohio, University of Miami. Let's say that's another school you wanted to apply to. You'd add them here. I already have them maxed out, but then it would eventually show up here. So I've done that for all of the schools here in Michigan that do participate. Um, Once you've gotten that part of it done, those again will populate here, and this will tell you what you have left to do on that specific application. So for Albion College, I need to complete the Common App part of the application. I need to answer their questions, and then I need to fill out their FERPA form. Their essay is optional, and then college questions I might have to give them additional details. So it's really cool because it breaks down what you need to do for each of those colleges or universities, and they're going to be a little bit different for each school, which makes it a little bit confusing. But we'll go down here to the University of Michigan. They require you to do the Common App essay, as well as do 2 other required questions, as well as the Common App questions and the FERPA release form. So it really breaks it down what it is you need to do for each of the individual schools. Each of them will have this Common App portion where you are required to do it. The real benefit of the Common App is going to be this section here. So if you are going to apply to 4 or more of the schools that participate in it, you only have to input this information one time. So your name, your address, your birthday, that type of stuff. It can be tedious if you're applying to a lot of schools. So this is where this becomes really beneficial for you. One thing that I do really enjoy about it is you'll see these green check marks. As you go through and you complete a section, it's going to put those green check marks in there for you. We're going to skip ahead to the citizenship one here because this is an important one because it will give you a green check even if you don't actually do it properly. So I want to make sure that you see this. If you are a citizen, you want to put the U.S. citizen or U.S. national here, and you need to put your social security number in this box here. If you don't put your social security number in this box, you can submit the application, but you're going to have major issues when it comes to receiving your financial aid award. So make sure you are aware of that. And then this Common App fee waiver is another thing that I do want to point out to you. I always say put yes here, because if you don't put yes, you don't get to see what the lists of things that would give you the free application would be. So if you click yes, and then you look at these and you say, okay, yep, that applies to me. I receive free or reduced lunch. You check this box here. You sign here. And then you're going to either put yes or no here. I would say definitely read about that. Once you've done this and you're ready to submit your application, a waiver will be sent to your counselor, and your counselor will then send this form in, and then you'll get a confirmation code from the school. So it's not an instantaneous thing. So if this is something that you want to do, making sure that they're aware of it and giving yourself a couple of, maybe like a week or so to receive that code to then put into the actual application. But if you are a no, put no there, and then you'll click continue. Then once you get each subsection done, it will add a check to the outside of it. So I went through and answered the family question. I'm going to go back and change this because I don't want it to be done. So yeah, you can see that I have a check next to citizenship, but I don't have the social security number. So just make sure you're keeping that aware. This part might be something that you'll need your parents to be available for, to sit down, because it's going to ask some in-depth questions about each of the parents that you might not know the answer to. I actually had to call my parents to get assistance with this part, especially when it gets down to the school that they went to, what their degree was, when they graduated. The reason that they add these into schools is a lot of schools will have like alumni scholarships or different things like that. So they just want to know where your parents went to school, what their degrees are. Then they'll also use that when it comes to creating financial aid profiles. So there is a chance that you're not going to know this information about either mom or dad or both of them, depending on what your situation is. But definitely don't hesitate to ask them. If you live in a situation where you're not with your parents, it might end up being a little bit different. And if you have questions about that, let me know. You can always put this, I have limited information. It's really more for the school's benefit, except for with the financial aid portion of it. So if you can provide the parent information, try and provide as much as you can. So again, this is a good application, but it's not going to be the application for everyone. Let's say you are somebody and you're like, I'm only going to apply to Michigan State, Jackson, and Spring Arbor. I would encourage you in that case to do all of their applications through their website. Yes, you will have to do the Common App, or like the inputting the name, username, password, email address, parent information multiple times, but it will save you some time in some other aspects. So if that's something you are wanting to do, what I would encourage you to do would be starting off on their home website. So for Michigan State, it's just msu.edu. And then if you're like, okay, where do I go to apply to Michigan State from here? They've made it really convenient for you. It says apply right up here in the top right. And most websites, as you're going to see here in a second, are going to be this way. So you're going to click apply, and then you're going to scroll down, and then you're going to read these. Most of them will have something similar to this, and which one is the one that applies most for you. If you've taken JCEC classes or just dual enrollment through the community college, you are going to be a first-time freshman. So just make sure that when you are applying that you're clicking first-time applicant, no matter where it is you go. So this is going to be the next step. So before you apply, things that you need to do, important dates, SAT and ACT information, I would definitely encourage you to look that out. But if you are ready to go right to the application, you click go, and it's going to take you here. It's a 7-step thing, and then you're finally to the application. This is creating the account. I selected the University of Miami just because it's a school in Florida, out of the area, but it's going to be a pretty similar thing. So we clicked apply up at the top, we scroll down, we're undergrad, first year, and then, oh, you need to do the Common App. So for this instance, if you wanted to go to the University of Miami, then you'd go back to the Common App. So then we're going to move on to Spring Arbor. Theirs is a little bit different. It's in the bottom right-hand side, but again, it's still conveniently located right here on the home page, which is just arbor.edu. You'll click apply now. You're going to be undergraduate, so you're going to do campus undergraduate, apply, and then that will take you right here where you're starting the new application. So again, still pretty easy. I selected the school that I went to, Indiana Wesleyan University, indwest.edu, top right-hand corner, apply now, and then we would be applying for a undergrad. And then IWU application. So they've made these pretty easy. And then again, just one more example. Picked Ohio State. This is their homepage, osu.edu, and then theirs is just going to be right here, down in the center. So, and then freshman campus or freshman Columbus applies step by step. So, if you come to me and say I couldn't find that application for that school, I'm going to say you probably didn't try very hard. But if for some reason their website is a little bit different, definitely let me know and I can get that application to you. The last one I'm going to go over is going to be the Jackson College website and their application. Their application, if you go to jccmi.edu, that's their home website. They too have made it really easy for you to find the application. It's right here in the center of the page where it says apply. Um, and then it breaks down the step-by-step things that you need to do. Step one, you click apply now. It's going to take you to this page where you're going to want to create an account. Then you'll go through the process of saying, I'm Travis Miller, I went to Columbia Central High School, here's what my GPA is, here's what I got on the SAT score, filling out that basic information. And then there are a couple more steps that you need to do. We already started the FAFSA earlier in the year, so hopefully some of you have gotten that done. As you'll see that this is step two. Really doesn't matter which order you get those done in, but just they want you to get that FAFSA done. But the reason I've scrolled down to these steps is going to be the transcript portion of this. Every one of these applications that you're going to do, you're going to want to send in your transcript. And some of you probably have no idea how to do that. We have well, you guys have the luxury of using a service called Parchment. If you can, I want you guys actually all to go to this website right now because we're going to go through and either try and access your account, and if you can't access it, create a new one for you. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to get here. It's going to be parchment.com. That's parchment.com. So I believe as students here that you guys will have this account created for you. At least they did last year. So what I want you to try to do is I want you to do the sign in and then use you're going to be a learner or a parent, and then use your school email address and school password. Um, I'll give you guys a couple seconds to try those. If they do not work, well, I want you guys to go back to the parchment.com and then click create an account. So I will give you guys a couple minutes to do that. It's a pretty easy thing. And then once you get done with the creating the account part, you'll get to a page that will look semi-similar to this. It won't have your school up here at the top because it hasn't been associated with the school unless it was created for you. So again, give you a couple of minutes to do that. If you have questions, raise your hand and we can hopefully get that for you. Okay, now that you guys have your account created, up here at the top, it's going to be add your school. You're going to want to, or order your, yeah, so add your school. So right now you have this account, but it's not telling Western or Western High School, hey, I need my transcript. I'm Travis Miller to be sent from Western to Michigan State. So what you'll want to do is you'll click on that and then you'll go through it and you'll add who you are, Western High School. Western will then have to confirm the person who is requesting it is an actual student, and if they are a student, they will then upload your transcript into the system. They typically do that once a week, and once it has been uploaded, you will see it here. But you can order the transcript before you see it here. So if you see the order button and you want to get it sent, you can click order, and then when it gets uploaded, it will also get sent to those schools. But once it is on here, you can always access your transcript. So if you are doing a college application and it's asking you what is your rank, what's your actual GPA. If you log into your Parchment here, that information will be there for you. So once you are ready to order, it's a pretty easy process. You will select order, and then you're going to add the schools that you want to send it to. I would encourage you to send it to all of the schools that you are interested in. I want to send it to Jackson College right here in Jackson, Michigan. So we'll select Jackson. We want to make sure that we're doing send now. If you've made your decision at what school you want to attend, you can always do hold for grades. And as long as you request it after the end of first semester, they'll send your second semester grades. It's important to remember that the school you are attending will need a transcript that confirms graduation. So making sure that you have this transcript sent to them before the end of the school year is going to be super helpful for you, because you will notice something different on mine than on yours. For me, this would cost $3.75 to send. For you, while you guys are still students, it's free to do. So get it sent to all the schools that you're applying to so they have it on file. And then once you've made your decision, making sure that they're going to receive a transcript with your final grades on it is super, super beneficial. So if you want to add another destination, you just do that here. But I'm ready to send this. You'll do save and continue. This is just another confirmation page. Continue. And then signing it here. It doesn't need to be an actual signature, but you need to be able to say, yep, I signed that. And I certify that this is me making this request. Click save and continue. And then for you, that would be your last step. But for me, I would have to add my credit card information. So going to give you guys a few more minutes to kind of work through that parchment thing if you still are creating the account. If you are done creating your account, the rest of this time is going to be dedicated for working on these applications. I'm going to be available for the rest of the class periods. If you have questions, let me know, and I will do my best to assist you. If you are a student who is not going to college, I know there are other things that you can be working on, like your resume or your cover letter or those job applications. So the rest of this class period is just going to be a workshop with myself being available. So again, if you have questions, let me know. All right, thank you.